Why are people so negative? This is something that I've dealt with my whole life because I've been on the other side. I generally try to generate positivity, and 8 out of 10 people are not happy. Not to say 8 out of 10 people are miserable or negative. I'd say maybe 5 out of 10 people generally have a negative undertone, and then the other 3 are neutral, but then 2 out of 10 are good vibes. And good vibes are so attractive. Men want to be you and women want to be with you when you have and bring good vibes. But let's answer the question, why are people so negative? I have 3 theories and a few stories I want to share with you. So my 3 theories on why people are so negative are: 1, they inherit their environment; number 2, no win for the self-esteem; and number 3, the happiness imposter. So let's talk about they inherit the environment around them. I have a story for you. I was recently in Brooklyn. Now, I live in Miami Beach, and the average person who lives in Miami Beach is a lot different from the average person who lives in Brooklyn. I'm out at the clubs in Brooklyn, and I'm like, the mind virus is strong here. I can sense it. I can feel in the cells of my body that I started to change because negativity can't get to me. But I just felt this overwhelming energy in this area because of the environment. There's something called chemo signals. Now, what a chemo signal is have you ever walked into a room after a fight and you can just feel the tension in the air, but you didn't see the fight, but you can just feel the people are mad at each other? That is a chemo signal. How just a room can affect your mood. So they did this study one time where they measured participants' mood. They had a room where people were laughing, and then they had a room where people were arguing. Now, after the laughing or arguing happened, they left, and then the participant walked into the room where people were laughing. They said, "How are you feeling?" And in general, they said, "I feel good." They had the participant walk into the room where people were arguing, and they said, "How do you feel?" And they said, "I don't feel good." Rooms and environments can affect your mood. Now, we're out at the club in Brooklyn, and there are these 2 attractive girls, and my friend has eyes for them. I said, "Okay, I'll be your wingman. I'll pump up your tires." So he goes up to them and starts talking to them. And right off the bat, they go, "We hate men." So I'm like, challenge accepted. I'm thinking, you don't even know me. How can you hate me? And luckily, I was in a good mood. So I'm like, I could just sense your energy. I'm not going to go down there. I have an abundance of good energy. I have extra energy to give out. So I'll give you some of my good energy. It was like, you could just see when a child is having a temper tantrum. She came off strong right off the bat. We hate men. I'm like, there's no reason for you to be like that because we came in with good energy. It was something from the past. So their demeanor, their body language is closed off. They don't want to talk to us. So what do? I give her a compliment. I said, "Oh, you got a nice smile." And then she started to smirk a little bit. Then I said, "Oh, I like your jacket." And then the smile got bigger. And then we started talking. We had good energy. We had good laughter. And then guess what happened? She broke her character. She started laughing. She had good energy. She enjoyed our company. I was like, when you say you hate all men, you might hate your last situationship. You might hate your father, but you don't hate me. You don't know me. So a little caveat, if a woman ever says, "I hate all men," you can hate some men, but all men is such an extreme, and you just have to rise above and see that is coming from something in the past, and that's not you. So you could either match their energy, but just understand like it has nothing to do with you. And really, you have to feel it, but give compassion, give empathy. And it starts from with you. You need to have an abundance. You need to have a place where you have extra good energy to give out. But it's one of the best experiences when you can turn someone negative into someone who smiles. Now, going back to the mind virus of Brooklyn and New York, negativity just breeds. So I grew up in the greater New York area, and I get it. I understand. In New York City especially, you don't talk to strangers. You say, "Hey, get the F out of here," right? So in your environment, you can become accustomed to that is the temperament. That is how you treat other people. So if you are never exposed to good energy and everyone around you has low vibe energy, negative energy, you're going to think that's natural. All it takes is one experience to plant a seed, to marinate on that. I was recently with some friends and they were winning in life. they're engaged, they're making money, they're happy, they're healthy. And hanging out with them, it changed my perspective on everything. I'm like, this is how you can live life. You can live life on abundance. You can live life with health, with love, and with happiness. So you need to be in those environments where people are doing the contrary of what you're used to, and let that seed grow and realize you can have that for yourself. The second reason why so many people are negative is because they did not get a win for the self-esteem. You can't just turn confidence on like a flip of a switch. I know that and I understand that. So you can't just one day be like, I'm confident, I'm in a good mood. You need small little victories throughout the day to build up that self-esteem. Now, the majority of the world is not winning, they are losing. When you lose, you develop poor character, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're agitated, you're aggravated, and that can carry on into your overall mood, that can carry on into your demeanor. And whether you realize it or not, sometimes it can be subconscious or unconscious or conscious, but you're bringing in negativity. That's why you need that win. One of the best feelings is when you are tested and you come out on top. This happened to me recently. One day I'm at Run Club and there is this guy there that's a stud. He's a great athlete. I played sports against him in high school and all my life. I was the guy in my town, he was the guy in his town, and there was a little rivalry. So I'm at Run Club just to socialize, to meet people. We're all running and I'm having lighthearted conversations with people. And then I decide to take off. And it's funny enough because there was this girl at Run Club who was at one of my high school parties years ago. I was gonna run up next to her and start talking to her, but she was with this guy, the childhood rival. And so we start running, right? I run up and he's like, yo, come on, let's go. So, okay, I start running with him. We're running and we're matching pace for pace. We're both competitive men, so it soon turns out into a unspoken competition. So we're running pace for pace. Then he gets 1 or 2 steps ahead of me. Now I had just ran a quarter mile to get up to the front where we were at. So I'm a little out of breath and we're running. And then I'm in a conflict. I have David Goggins in my head. Let's go, don't quit, don't quit. But then also I have the little bitch in my head where it's like, oh, it's okay, you know, this is just for fun. And somehow, and I almost was like, I'm gonna let him have it, just go in front of me. But then either I challenged him or he challenged me, but we're getting to the end. And he's like, yo, the end's right up there. And maybe I said, let's race. So we take off, boom, and we're running. We're matching pace for pace. But then after about, 2 or 3 seconds after this all out burst, I get ahead of him. I crossed the line, I finished, and I won that bout. I felt so good because this kid is a stud. I have a lot of respect for him, but I beat him in a race and I felt so good. My confidence was such a high, like for the rest of the week, because I was tested against a very competitive opponent, and that carried on throughout my week of just my self-esteem, how I carried myself. So when people are negative, you gotta understand that they're not winning in life. Now, if you have an abundance mindset, try to share some of your good wealth with them. But if you don't feel it in you to give out, that's okay. Sometimes you might need to avoid them and protect your energy and be around people who are on good frequencies. The third reason why people are so negative is, I call it the happiness imposter. They don't know how to be in a good mood. So one time, I had this interaction with this person and they were so negative to me. They're being so rude to me. And I came in with good energy and I'm thinking, why are they being mean and rude to me? But luckily I was just in a default good state. So instead of matching their level, I rose above them and I gave them good energy. And there's this law of reciprocation where if you do something good to someone, if you give to them, they're more likely to give to you. So this person was being rude to me, but I gave them generosity and kindness and grace. So there was a moment where they paused and they had this bamboozled look on their face because they knew they were being rude, and they're thinking, why is he being good to me when I'm being rude? And just kind of my demeanor was like, it's okay, man, like we can be cool, we can be cordial. But this person had no character development, that instead of just matching my pace, they walked away, they evaded, because they had no character development and they just knew that they were in the wrong for being rude because they were expecting me to also be rude. So they probably knew how to navigate that situation that leads into a confrontation or a fight. If they're being rude and then I would be rude, they know how to argue. But because they were rude and I was good to them, they didn't know what to do. They were so lost. So fight or flight, they just flight, they walked away, and I knew what was up. I knew they just didn't know how to be a good person. What I call this happiness imposter is because people in their environment, everyone's negative, because they haven't won for themselves, they don't know how to be happy. They don't know how to be in a good mood. So what you can do is lead by example. You can't teach people or tell people, but lead by example. Just walk around with such great confidence and such great energy, people pick up. Whether they say it or not, they pick up on your good vibes, and you can inspire them to be better versions of themselves. Hey, if you made it through the video, I appreciate you. My name is Brendan Brown. I'm on a mission to encourage people to be better versions of themselves. So please help me spread this message and this mission by subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and sharing it with a friend. Until next time, I will see you in the next video.